Click. Ding. So do y'all remember To Catch a Predator?
Could you explain yourself? I'm sorry.
To Catch a Predator was a show that aired on Dateline NBC from 2004 to 2008, where it was subsequently canceled due to, we'll say, an unfortunate event.
Is about to take a disturbing turn. A decoy is hit on by someone you'd never dream could be involved in trying to have sex with a young teen.
Assistant District Attorney for Kaufman County, using fake pics.
The show started in 2004, and there were 12 investigations across the U.S. But then in 2008, there was a show with a guy named Louis Conrad, an assistant district attorney,
correct,
in Texas. Tell me about that situation.
We had done this investigation in Texas, and about the second night into it, a guy had surfaced chatting with a 13-year-old boy. He did not show up at the house, but in Texas, the actual chat itself constituted solicitation of a child. And so the next day, the police department goes to his door. He's an assistant district attorney, and goes to arrest him. He has a handgun in the house, and as the police are moving in, he takes the handgun, shoots himself in the head, sadly. What was found out later was on his laptop were at least 10 images of child porn, for which he knew as a district attorney, assistant district attorney, he would face in Texas 10 years in prison per image. And while you don't want to see anything like that happen to a guy, you could pretty much clearly assume that he didn't want to face the music on that and chose to take his own life.
Now, To Catch a Predator was hosted by investigative journalist, the OG pedo hunter himself, Chris Hansen.
Oh, I know who you are, Chris Hansen. But see, I calls you Chris Hansen. I watch your TV show all the time. So you can go ahead and bring in them cameras and them police is waiting outside. It don't make me no difference.
Now, Dateline followed Chris as he led undercover sting operations to catch what the show called potential predators. Obviously trying to avoid lawsuits because the term pedophile has a different definition. So to keep it clear, they just called it potential sex predators. Now, the way these operations were set up was pretty elaborate. They rented a house to set up in. They had a team of people on phones and computers pretending to be kids, anywhere between the ages of like 11 to 16. They would be chatting in chat rooms, setting up meetings. They had voice actors for the phones, and they had theater actors to play the minors for the live meetings at the house. And, you know, guys would show up, and, you know, the rest was in the hands of Chris and his team. Now, you do got to remember, these are the early days of internet chat rooms and online interactions. Most chat rooms were basically unfiltered in terms of age requirements for entry and for people that you could interact with. There were no paywalls or anything like that. It was just you click a name, open a chat box, and you could literally talk to anybody. There were no barriers to starting a chat with anyone. And these types of chat rooms were perfect for the kinds of people that Chris and Dateline were trying to catch. Obviously, things have tightened up a bit, but as we've seen recently, you know, there's still ways that these predators can get to minors. So, parents, stay on your toes. Now, the early investigations in To Catch a Predator, they didn't have a police presence. So guys that showed up to meet these minors, they just had to like run away, you know?
Here's another guy who doesn't stay long.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how about yourself?
Good. Why don't you have a seat right over here?
No, thank you.
I'd like to ask you some questions.
He makes a beeline out to the garage, barely touches the stairs, and with his arms flailing, runs down the driveway and down the street. Clearly, this man knows he's done something wrong. So does this guy.
I'm sorry, see, this is all myself.
No, I want to talk to you for a minute.
I'm sorry.
No, I want to talk to you.
No, I'm sorry.
He also makes a run for it, but he didn't come in a car, so he keeps running and running, presumably back to a bus station, trying desperately to hide his face.
They did eventually introduce police officers alongside the stings, and, you know, these produced some hilarious footage. We'd like to hear it.
Oh my God! Put your hands up! No! Get on the ground.
Get him, let it, stop it. Get him, cuff him.
No, please, God! Please, sir!
Get on the ground.
Let me see your hand. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Now, what made this show so great, at least for me, were the interviews. I mean, Chris had an uncanny ability to get these creeps to sing like canaries and let him in on their twisted ways of thinking about relationships and sex.
I swear, sir, I'm a desperate person. I need a girl in my life, and if she really wanted to be my friend, that would be all I needed from her.
She said she was 13.
She did. I'm sorry, sir. I have interest in younger girls. That has just been a fantasy of mine.
A fantasy?
Yes, sir.
Did you say you are ready to have my thang in your mouth?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
Are you ready to have my in your mouth? Because she was going with it. She was.
Oh, so she wanted it.
That's what it
It's
seemed
her
like
fault.
to me. It's not her fault at all.
She made you come over here.
I came here for reasons like that, but if she really didn't want it, sir, I swear to you, I would have never tried it.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
But if she was open to the idea,
Yes.
you would have had sex with a 13-year-old girl.
Probably, yeah. I'm sorry, I know you think it's bad, but that's what it is, and that would be probably the cleanest, best pleasure, I would say.
The cleanest, best pleasure
Yes, sir.
is to have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
Yes, sir.
But the big thing for me watching that show is that, you know, these people weren't touched. They weren't harmed. Obviously, unless they resisted arrest.
To the house, and an officer shoots him with a taser gun. Only one probe stays attached, so the taser is unable to shock him and drop him to the ground.
But outside of that, you know, nobody was touched, nobody was harmed. Chris wasn't out to hurt or intimidate anyone. And any embarrassment that was suffered were at the hands of these predators because they decided to come and show up and be creepy, weird people. So you get no sympathy from me at all.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Now, of course, the show was filmed, there were hidden cameras everywhere, and Chris did the old "you got punked" moment and had an entire camera crew come out while he explains everything they're doing. And obviously this produced some very bad reactions from people. Being filmed and finding out that you're about to be caught and you're on TV didn't feel good to some.
Well, I am not the police. But I am Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on computer predators. He knows that he's in a bad situation once the camera guys come out. And so he's not going to try to be my pal anymore. He's mad.
Well, you better, I'll shove that camera down his
I
throat.
don't think you're going to want to do that.
Why is that?
I don't think you'll want to do it. Now, we can't keep you here. If you want to say anything else to us, we'd love to hear it. You're free to leave, obviously, if you want to go.
Now, of course, the show itself had some mixed reactions. You had on one side the concerned parents who strongly believed that what Dateline and Chris was doing was really good work, and it brought awareness to, you know, an increasing problem. On the other side, you had people who believed that these stings invited predators into communities where predators didn't exist, and that people were being caught in entrapment, and that people were being taken advantage of. Now, those last two are pretty weird, criticisms, but the first one in that line of inviting predators into communities where they didn't exist, that's a valid one. If you watch To Catch a Predator, a lot of these guys were traveling really, really far to come meet these kids. Like really far, hours, 6-7 hour drives. And this leads us into the main subject of the video. These new school predator hunters. These folks that are picking up where Chris left off, even though he tried to relaunch with the Hansen versus Predator, very short-lived. I don't know if that's still going on, but you know, these people picking up where Chris left off. You know, these new vigilantes who've come to take his place. And I say vigilantes because these new guys administer Batman-style justice on these creeps.
I wasn't. I was gonna try.
I mean, it's really some of the most questionable stuff I've seen. Bordering on illegal, but you know, people still love it. They cheer it on.
The people want blood.
And it's understandable. The things these men say in these chats are absolutely disgusting. It can be rage-inducing and make you want to ensure the worst possible things happen to them. However, when administering justice for a crime, certain questions will come into play, and we can start to see where ethical lines can be crossed, and we should avoid crossing them. For example, mild torture.
Say sorry to the chat. The chat is mad right now. Say sorry, chat.
Say sorry, chat.
No, confident like a man. Just pretend there's no hot chip in your mouth. Sorry, chat.
Say sorry, chat.
Sorry, chat.
Sorry, chat.
Yeah. Good. All right.
Can I please leave?
Yeah, you can leave. Yeah, you can leave. Brother, I don't even want to see you again. You gonna do this again? Hey, we're letting you go, but you go to prison. Yeah.
You gotta let go. Listen. Water, please.
No, we don't want it. No water.
I'm failing to understand what something like this satisfies, other than some sadist fantasy to inflict pain on someone else. I mean, the humiliation is already taking place by virtue of them being caught for a horrific crime. And, you know, the rage-fueled voyeurism that accompanies these kinds of videos is even more disturbing. Just read some of the comments in some of these videos and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. It's like people are living out some twisted fantasy to catch a bad guy and do terrible things to him, like they're the main character of John Wick 10.
And revenge is a dish best served cold.
What's going on here? How old are you?
Now, there are some good channels out there who don't do these extreme versions of To Catch a Predator. You know, they simply lure the person and call the police. Some of them even try to emulate exactly what Chris was doing, interview style, followed by an arrest.
How are you? Okay. Why don't you go ahead and have a seat over there from you, sir, please? Just right there in the bed is fine. We do have the police on standby as well, so right here for me, please. Oh, yeah. Appreciate it. So what's your name?
I'm James.
James.
Yeah.
James what? And what brings you here, James?
Just trying to have some fun.
So what made you decide to come here and meet her then?
Just to hang out, just watch TV, watch a movie.
And drink some Mike's Hard Lemonade. Now, why does a girl need to be drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade? So here you said you were 38 before, and you said that you're bored and horny.
I'm always horny.
You can have that back.
I wasn't looking.
You're always horny. So are you horny right now in this very moment? So I sort of killed your vibe, I guess you could say.
No, I wasn't really.
So after a couple of Mike's Hard Lemonades, you were just gonna, just a friendly back rub.
That's it.
Okay. Are these twist offs, do you know?
I don't even know.
Now, do you mind if I take one, or?
Is that a trick question?
No, I'm actually kind of thirsty.
Thankfully, he's not.
Yeah. I'm of age, so. But it's up to you. You have the right to say no. You brought it.
But these so-called influencers and YouTubers seem to be doing this more for entertainment value and engagement rather than an actual act of being virtuous. There appears to be an element of enjoyment these people get out of this. Now, just to be clear, this is in no way a defense of these predators. I miss shows like To Catch a Predator, and I am more than happy to see other people attempting to do the same. But the important thing that we have to remember about these things, for the people who choose to engage in this activity, is to remember to be human. Remember that what you're doing is meant to be a net good for society. Stooping below that for some extra clicks and likes sucks the humanity of what's being done right out of it. It almost negates the entire thing. And I have to say, some of these are really hard to watch because of the treatment of these people. I mean, to Catch a Predator was already cringeworthy just from the interactions alone. Imagine if Chris just started beating the crap out of these guys and made them eat dirt or something, giving them noogies and wedgies and throwing water on their face. It would be a little funny at first, but to see it repeatedly and over again would be unimaginably uncomfortable to view. And it would probably be canceled after episode 1. Let's not lower the standard because it's people on the internet. That's it for me. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. I'm out. Peace.
Pretty weird.